Preparing. Right, we've got it. Preparing to live stream.
You're already live.
Right, we're there. Great. Great. Hello, lovely live streamers. Welcome to this week's edition of Concordia Consularis, the spiritual and business agency of peace. And we welcome you to this particular broadcast. It's going to be part of a little set towards the solstice. And then we're just going to have a little break for a bit and recalibrate ourselves for the new agendas that are set in place for action and resolution on Earth today. So over the last few weeks, we've been encountering certain subjects and dealing with certain resolution issues that aren't yet addressed fully in the collective, and it has brought its challenges. And it is a tricky old game, let's just say. Resolution it was never going to be easy. Well, it should be. Anyway, so I just wanted to quickly get in there. There are two specific wonderful experiences and activations that are going to be held by myself on the 3rd of February, 2023, 0302. 2023. It's a specific coded date, and we're going to be performing a huge transformation of the individual. We will be resolving sexual traumas, but also the traumas that the physical body has endured via the system that keep you out of the higher love frequencies that help you to navigate your way out of the system. This is divine. This is a beautiful offering to you for you to experience and then take and administer into your lives so that you can create and co-create this beautiful love existence as originally intended by your soul, your spirit, your being, instead of having to deal with certain issues that make it really challenging for you to stay in a high frequency state. So I always like to push the boundaries, as you probably have gathered, and I will continue to do so until the infinite experience, which is infinite, ends. And because it's infinite, it won't end, because we are super intelligences that are universes, in short. If you do have any questions, do get in contact. I'm also running a specific activation on the 23rd of March that is designed for indigos to awaken. Now, if you're an indigo, you've been affected, an indigo adult, you won't be an indigo child watching this, but if you're an indigo adult, you will have experienced certain things that other levels or waves of incarnation would not have experienced. And I offer that to you with all my experience and experiences over time. And this will get you activated to your fullest potentials. We have seen other dimensional groups here on Earth try to attempt the same, but they haven't been offered in this way, at this level, to this degree. So you can find us always at Concordia Consularis. Somewhere you will find us, and we look forward to hearing from you regarding that. Also, in addition to that, I will be offering training for the spiritual courts of equity so you can perform your own resolutions in your life. How do you do that? Wow. Well, it's a very simple process, and it's innate to you. It just requires specific training in a certain way, and this is going to help you beyond with everybody in your life, your lineage, your ancestors. And I'm offering these teachings because we need them. They will, if you are at the end of your tether with it all, you see no way out, this is the solution that will help you to get there quickly, and you do it. And, you know, as I launch various videos about this into the future, I would really welcome your comments, your experiences, and then perhaps I can guide you through any issues that you may have while you reach these deeper levels of yourself, and bring effective clearings, healings, and activations to your own experience. It's beautiful. And it really, once I started to work in this way as an indigo elder, it saved me. And that means I saved myself. I saved my soul. That's huge. So without further ado, do leave a like and subscribe. We know there have been various attempts to restrict our message, what we do, what we say. You might be unsubscribed. But, you know, I understand if you don't like or resonate with what we say, that's okay too. You're on your own trip. But for those that might have missed us or don't, because a massive proportion of our viewers are unsubscribed. So help us out. Help us to let us know you're there, and get involved in your own awakening process. Everything we do here, excuse me, at Concordia Consularis is designed to help you shift masses of your own experience and negative traumas into a more positive, aligned position with yourself in peace. And we hold that position so you can make it through from the 4 previous teacher worlds into and being a fully fledged 5th timeline paradox, 6th timeline paradox. And if you're prepared to go to all levels, we take you directly and in a focused way back to the original intelligence, which is home. And I hope that you all remember what home is. So without further ado, we're going to be looking at Galactic Factions, not Galactic Fashions, but actually that'll come in a different way. Galactic Factions, beauty, truth, and the individual human awakening. So welcome, Harrison. Welcome, Derek. It's great to see you both.
Hi, Angela. Hi, Harrison. How are you guys doing?
I'm okay. How are you guys? I've been doing
Very
wonderful.
well.
Good, good.
All good?
Yeah.
Good, onwards and upwards. So today, right now, we're going to fling open the doors of the spiritual court of equity. Hello, beautiful earth. Hello, beautiful ancestors, lineages, and all humans currently undergoing an awakening in this moment. Just smiling because they're all so beautiful, so unique, so gifted. It's beautiful. So we're going to invite galactic factions into the court that actively suppress the source frequency of us all via the law of one or any other means. Oh, as soon as I mentioned that, there was a low rumbling. A low rumbling in that that part of the court. Ah, Derek, would you like to talk a little bit about these factions?
Well, what I'm going to say is that the court of equity, just like you've got courts on the earth that are mainly in all capital cities around the world or capitals of provinces that you might be living in, it's the same with the court of equity. We have different branches of the court in different worlds, different planetary systems, even different universes. So when we say the court of equity is sitting, we're in contact with all the different branches, wherever they might be. So, I mean, this is once again a mammoth task. It's not just possible for a couple of people in one court to do it, because we need the records of all the people that we're going to be working with, all the factions that we're going to be working with in this session right now, or this chat. And it's not just factions on the earth, it's factions off planet. It could be even factions in another universe. So we're working with the courts in alignment with the subject that we're doing. They've already been aware of what we're going to be working with at this point in time, and they've called in the other different courts to be a part of it. They are all connected. There's no difference in time, in space between the different courts. There's a person that's in each court that's bringing the message to all the different courts throughout the universe and beyond, working with these factions. And I want to say is that the factions on Earth that don't have the best interests of the beautiful light beings, the star seeds, the crystal people, the indigo people, the rainbow tribes, the winged tribes, call them what you want. Their time is up. It is up, guys. It's been a long journey now. The control has gone beyond any reasonable measure on the Earth. It's getting worse and worse and worse. Trying to capture people in a barcode, if you will, and put their lives at stake or on hold, do what they want. All these perpetrators of these dark deeds is what we're going to be working with. The different factions of these different criminal organizations is what the court will be working with right now. They've got all the records out. They know all the perpetrators. And I'd like to give Harrison a chance to put in his message.
Thank you, Derek. That was absolutely beautiful, precise, and spot on. Thank you. Beautiful. You made me smile throughout.
That's wonderful. I don't even have anything to add because you have articulated everything perfectly and nicely. And this is where we are gathering to see what we are gonna do in this court. It's like I'm getting this perception. It's like an audit of everything, single thing that has happened, and then from that audit, you know, actions and different things can be done to make sure that people who have been affected are let's say equity comes to them, because justice may be elusive.
Thank you, Harrison. Justice on Earth is elusive.
Yeah.
We're all looking for it and we can't find it. But justness for every soul is so important here, and that equity is equally key in it all. So yes, you're very right about everything that you've said. And it's what I will say at this point is this is why Concordia Consularis opened in all those universes, dimensions, realities, layers, Earth, inner Earth, and all. You will find us everywhere, but you might not see us so much on Earth because of the active suppression of a legitimate concern. So we are here. All you need to do is call. So
yeah.
let's flow back into the Equitus Court. Now, the Galactic Factions are there. There are some I can see trying to phase out of existence, phase out of the background. It's literally just they're moving back, trying to escape, but there is no escape because we all hold a sacred space here for this to take place. And it's a divine space, it's a universal space because we are resident here on Earth and we say no to injustice and injustice for every soul here.
What I just want to say here is that I'd like the viewers to understand that these different factions that court is working with, they're also linked up to artificial intelligence. So if it wasn't for the artificial intelligence that they're operating through, they wouldn't be operating at all because they actually don't have it within them to actually pull off what they're pulling off without the technical artificial intelligence entanglements that they use. So the court is also going to be shutting down these computer systems, these technical halves. I will rather call them halves of technology that is being used to also manipulate and control these factions to do what the higher masters, if you will, would like to take place, not only on this earth, but on other planets as well. But however, we are living on the earth, so we're dealing with matters of the earth right now. So we're going to look at the different halves on the earth, underground, hidden, but not hidden to the court, and also in the upper atmospheres. Like, you wonder what, you've got all these spaceships and they go to the International Earth Station. Well, the question is that also not a hub that is being utilized through technology to give information to these different factions that they are controlling anyway, and to bring the demise of beautiful, peace-loving people? So we're going to, yes, what do you say, Angela?
Thank you.
So we're going to bring all the head honchos of these different factions together now. The court is looking at their operations through their half technologies, through their technical systems. And we're sending out that message to all our helpers on the earth. These factions have sleeper cells, so does the Court of Equity have sleeper cells that work for us. So we're going to actually ask them also to assist us right now in actually cancelling out that technology. It's like burning it out, if you will, to use that expression, so that it cannot be used by them any longer, especially at the International Space Station that has links to hives off-world as well. Yeah.
And it filters down to a local government level in most countries.
Exactly.
So actually here taking place is actually very interesting because it affects us personally as well in spiritual contracts. Derek, you're in the process of fulfilling a personal spiritual contract here as well. Anyway, so yeah, it's great news. Harrison, right, from an ancestral perspective there, because you're in a very sacred zone, what do you observe at Mount Kenya in terms of the light streams, the sensations of the ancestors?
What I'm getting here, it's a very, very powerful grouping. All I can't put a number on ancestors and the power they have, because what I'm getting is that the power or the level we think these beings are operating, the ancestors have the capability to go to those levels and beyond those levels. And they are able to see each and everything that's happening. And the only thing they require from us as the people on the ground, or the foot on the ground, it's our permission and request so that they can be involved in this co-creation activity that we are doing here. So they have their arms wide open to see what's happening, and some of them are very happy in the term, like the one that I used, audit, and some of them are saying it's time we do some of these things because these events have been dragging for too long, and some of these people have been in power for so long such that the moment you bring the idea of snatching power out of them, they just snap and they do these bizarre things that cause havoc and create chaos to the people here.
I just want to add to that, Harrison, is that you've got the ancestors in the land, Kenya, which you're living in Kenya at the moment, or Kenya to other people. And they're connecting all those old ancestors to all the natural old ancestry around the planet. So they'll connect to the Celtic ancestors, the Viking ancestors, the Aboriginal ancestors, the Native American ancestors. So let's get, even we'll bring in the court, I'm hearing, is bringing in the Inca, the Mayan, and the Aztec ancestors all to work together in this particular court. And they also letting us understand that it's not just the old ancestors of the indigenous people on the planet, or the new nations as they're now known, but it's also the ancestral light stream. So everyone on the earth and beyond, and the ancestors themselves come in on an ancestral light stream of a particular ray, a particular color, and that's got to do with vibrational frequency. So once again, the Court of Equity is working with vibrational frequency. And through vibrational frequency, they can actually easily detect, easily see what's taking place in these technical hives. And they're shutting down all people that are not working within a certain percentage of the higher vibrational light field. So then they would not have the best interests of the population on Earth at hand. These different factions on the Earth do not also have the best interests of their puppet masters, and they are closing down the lower vibrational frequency fields right now.
Great, Derek. Great.
Yeah.
He's on fire.
That's
Now,
wonderful.
it
because
is wonderful.
because what I was perceiving is that there are this group of people when like in this period or this time of change and awakening that's happening, it's an individual awakening, and every single person has to be directly involved in their process of awakening.
Yes.
But there's this cluster of people, no matter what happens, they are not gonna see the truth, or they are not gonna work on themselves.
Yeah.
And ancestors this grouping of people is very dangerous, because they are the guys who support implementation of these draconian systems that we are currently seeing being spread all over. And through the 100 monkey effect, it affects everybody in that loop. So the ancestors are saying, as much as we love these people, if they are not working to assist humanity to go to the next level of being lighter, more balanced within the planet, they're not gonna receive their protection and assistance when, for the lack of a better term, shit hits the fan, like when Caesar comes collecting his taxes, they should not be expecting the ancestors to be there to defend them.
Thank
Absolutely,
you. That's
Harrison,
very important. Now, while you two were talking, I was working with the soul groups and the souls that are currently in the spiritual court themselves, because what we have here is a very beautiful time that is connected to the expansion of Earth and movement of our own personal spiritual awakenings individually. And this is being hampered by this superimposition of these other factions that are resident on Earth and off, in short. So what I'm going to continue doing as this spiritual court unfolds and moves, I'm just going to be working with each individual at that level via their groups and peoples and elders to work on the technical aspects to help them to have a beautiful experience, not one that is hampered by any illusory or false redemption scenarios and false ascension packages. So that's in operation as we speak. And it's really wonderful that we're doing this from our different perspectives. It's working beautifully.
Yeah.
Very.
Go on, Derek.
No, what I'd
What?
like to add there as well is we've also got other kingdoms on the earth, that are not really seen by the naked eye, and that are being led to believe that they're just fairy stories, like the fairies themselves, the elf people. You've got the leprechauns in Ireland, and you've got different groups of small people. And the court is actually working with them to assist mankind right now in alleviating the technical imbalances, the technical harm done to people, radiation. So they're working on many levels right now to assist mankind, assisting the court of equity, opening the doors and light streams for certain people, and even certain factions that are willing to change. Majority of them won't, unfortunately. And this is part of a huge, immense amount of work taking place where the different factions are being sorted out. The court has all the records, all the knowledge of all these different factions, who started them, where they originated from, and the perpetrators of that originality, the head honchos. They're being brought into the court right now to start explaining their doings and try and explain how they can rectify the mess. But unfortunately, most of them, just about 99% of them, don't want to rectify anything.
Okay.
They don't want to correct their mistakes. There's no judgment here really by the court, because we try not to be heavy-fisted, so to speak, but they'll then move on to a place where they can work out through maybe hundreds of thousands, if not millions of years. It will take them to realize that they can't work against the light.
Exactly, or emulate it or recreate it via
Absolutely
physical elements. So this is where Angela loves her job. And it's kept me going, because this is the art of resolution. So to those 99% of faction groups here, I'm just going to engage in a little process with them. Now, I'm just showing them that, look, chaps, because you mostly are patriarchal, you've used women as front women, etc. We know that. And you've also, there's been some initiators of that against the feminine principle. And I feel a sense of nervousness in them all, which makes me laugh on a personal level, because I'm just a little old person. And this is it. So to those that are opposing in this scenario, I'm just going to perform an essential review and audit of their journeys. And this has been happening for a long time now, so we're very familiar with these factions and these new amalgamated groups as well, and conglomerates. We know about your little games, etc., and your dealings. It's all quite boring. But what I want to do, I'm going to engage in a transference program. And I'm just going to give them a big dose of their own medicine. Big dose. They might not feel it, but they're going to feel it through their limited concepts. And this is a multiversal approach to resolution. And if you can describe what those faction groups are going through, that's wonderful. And those faction originators.
Well, I can tell you right now, what they're going through is having the experience and the feelings that what they pervade onto other people. So
yep.
all the hurt, the harm, the emotional body, the mental body of all those people, they are now having the experience of what it was like. It's not very pleasant.
It's not very pleasant. So I'm just going to amplify it to the max. In fact, I'm going to go overboard on this. You know, I'm not saying that that's a good thing to do to anybody, but sometimes you need what Guns N' Roses call bitch slap rapping.
Yeah, but also the viewers need to realize that a lot of these factions are in essence cold-blooded reptilians, and things do need to be amped up.
Exactly. And sometimes it needs a bitch slap to pull you back into reality and like, actually. So that's happening quite substantially. I can feel and see the depths of despair that they're all feeling. I'm just showing them the future projections. Your culture, your story is not ours. Be gone.
And then
but
at
also,
this point, okay,
yeah.
no. What I was just going to say, at this point, the Court of Equities also giving them an opportunity to cross over to the light.
Exactly, because what will happen on a scientific basis to their own DNA in these times, no matter how many attempts are meant to hijack the spirit and the DNA markers of original races. Yes, you came back, so what? But what did you do? Who are you? And what made you? Domination and control. Now that might seem, oh, well, she's not very peaceful. But actually, it is peaceful because sometimes you need to achieve certain realizations in order to achieve peace. So I'm just looking at that because, you know, I actually feel sorry in some ways for these elites because they're so entrapped and not able to expand. Because if they did expand, they'd be better versions of themselves. And they do not know how. They're blind, it's just like being in the dark with no light and continuing on one train track trajectory that's not leading them anywhere.
Yeah.
Yes, because what they think that it's, sorry, Harrison, I'm just going to say this, well, they think that it is leading them somewhere because they're looking for immortality. But however, as beautiful beings of light, we're not interested in immortality. We realize and recognize that we're eternal beings. And you can only be an eternal being if you actually embody the true light 100%, and not shards of it that is broken off and stolen from other people. Mm-hmm. and put together in a laboratory settings, for example. It can maybe give you immortality, but it's not going to give you eternity.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Absolutely spot on.
Yeah, these elites, what I'm perceiving is that they have been passing karma to future generations, and they have done this over and over, and they think they can push the karma around as they wish. And also there's this new concept that they have started bringing in, where they want to upload their holographic image and their voice into the cloud. And then you have a virtual being who looks like that person, but technically the guy died long time ago. He just uploaded his voice and ideas and concept And that's what they are pushing, to be recognized as that person. And also, I'm also getting this perception in days to come, if people accept this ideology, it may come to a point where they are gonna even ask for voting rights and things like those in the society. But technically,
Voting rights. Dear
yeah.
me.
Yeah, so
Holographic voting.
yeah,
That's a
so
concept to reckon with, isn't it?
yeah, so this billionaire giving in the terms of earth perception, that's what I'm using. You can imagine this person owns billions and billions of dollars, and after they pass on, they decide to upload their image and concepts and ideas and their voice into the cloud, and leaves all the money into the for that being, so that his ideology continues to be perpetuated for as long as the system is carrying on and the money is there, you know.
Right. So let's just take the spiritual court of equity to the next level. So we have the originators of those factions. We have every single soul experiencing some kind of relief. And let's just bring in who are behind the originators. Interesting.
Well, it's all done through technology, and you can obviously create a holographic image, but it's not an eternal holographic image. You know, it's got a beginning and it's going to have an end. So the court has the power to actually dissolve these holographic cloud images and voices that really are amount to zilch.
So I would like to specifically, because there's a bit of embarrassment going on out there, because somebody there within their factions is pulling the strings on a group level. And I just want to bring them to the fore, because they can just switch it all off.
Remember, also with the group level, then we're dealing with artificial intelligence and
Beyond
splitting
that.
technology.
Yes, beyond that. We're going beyond that.
And then we've got the different halves and the creators of those halves. And the creators of those halves are also sort of hybrids anyway.
So, you know, hybrids aren't that bright. I mean, in some ways, technological ways, because there's always going to be this dual mismatching and integration of programming. And we see this on the races on Earth. You know, sometimes mixed race people will have mixed problems that oppose each other. But I want to know who specifically, whose bright idea was this? And I'm scanning, and the court is scanning, because there are hidden elements at play. And there are languages and linguistics from the future at play in this court right now. And it's hidden out of view. And often when we see hidden out of view, it's a bit like the Wizard of Oz, where there's a little chap hiding behind his curtain on his 1970s computer, or chapess. And we're just revealing something here. It's a bit like hiding behind the light.
Well, I tell you who's hiding behind the light is the group of watchers, which is the main faction there that the court is bringing into focus right now.
Hiding behind the sun. Well, that's interesting. So I'm identifying the hatred of all humankind from start to finish. They work through all the groups in some way, shape or form, beyond the 15 idiots. And they've never been taken to task. They're working with the old mainframes from the past to a certain, you will see this with the technology giants. It's going to create a huge picture here. So there's 4 in particular that have other agendas woven in. And I'm just sort of revealing and auditing those agendas step by step of the why are you doing this here and in other places, in these universes that aren't yours. To them, it's a bit of an inventory because they feel that they have, each human is part of their inventory. They've got 0 ethics, it's property.
But it's also we're at war. It's light against dark.
So there are more dark factions here than meets the eye. So I'm just making sure that every Watcher faction is present. You can't hide either. You know, they say that, oh, we don't need to attend court. They have immunity to all of that. Have you heard these words before?
They are presenting their papers that has been signed by their president. You know, we have a pardon here.
Okay, so in the spiritual court of equity again, we're going to engage with the source of all sources simultaneously in this court, because all universes have been affected. And with great love and humility and respect. Can you describe your sensations?
Well, what I will say is, you know, just like we working towards our ascension here and raising our vibrational frequency, it's the same thing that's happening throughout the universe on the different planetary systems, in all the different worlds that exist, known and unknown to us. Everything's going through a transformation. And as all the worlds, including the Earth, are going through this incredible, beautiful transformation, really, certain factions definitely are being brought to book. They're being dealt with. And it's down to vibrational frequency again. People that have done wrong, they might be operating in 8D, but they might not have the vibrational frequency to match it right now any longer.
Yes, it's true. So I want to invite those that are harboring that level of personal, let's say, personal inner conscience, that know that they've done something and done something that's harmed themselves, their own awakening, but also that of others. So we want to invite them for unconditional forgiveness and resolution through the frequency of all I ams that are present here.
So, you know, even I'll add to that and explain it a bit further, even all the different factions that the court's working with in this particular sitting. They're also being given a chance to ascend, as I mentioned earlier, and join the light and move to even greater experiences of their being, if you will. And that those that don't want to, that's fine. They're going to be shifted somewhere else and they'll eventually roll away or they'll be dissolved through time and space.
And hopefully come through to their own conclusions. Now, it's a beautiful spiritual resolution that is being offered out there amongst all other things, because there is deep forgiveness of self, because each soul has had so much to come through on an individual level. And this is what we're talking about. So just allowing the source of all sources to embody and engage through every single living cell.
Yeah, what I'm getting is this scene from Star Wars when Lucas was talking to his father, and his father wanted to kill him, and he was telling him, I can feel goodness in you.
Yeah.
And he kept doing that. And the last minute, his father ended up switching over to the positive side and assisted him. And I was getting this perception where there's this the darkest of the darkest of the galactic mafia that's out there, that's one of the grouping that's challenging Source and what he stands for. And I'm getting there's an aspect or some of the information that you are doing here and what the court is doing here. There's an aspect that's talking to them, and it's calling them to come back home.
Exactly. Who could be bothered with all that?
Yeah, absolutely.
Beautiful. Always look, and part of the thing, the motivation in my work over the years is I will always look for your light, the light within you, because I believe in it. It doesn't matter what you have done, but there's an opportunity for you to come back to wholeness.
Yeah, and this grouping, it's like, or these beings are one of the darkest of the darkest, and they are not even known by name. It's like they have hidden themselves so well.
Oh, yes.
And it's a song that's being played by Source to them, the song of home, and it's vibrating, and I can feel a connection to them, like it's reaching their heart in another dimension that they have never felt for a very, very long time. What it is.
That's amazing. Go into more detail.
Yeah, it's just a call for home, and it's what I'm getting is that this kind of thing is creating a conflict within some of these beings, where a part of them wants to go back, another wants to get deeper in what they are still doing. But on the other hand, they are seeing what Earth will become in the future, which is what we are living now, and we're experiencing it as we continue, and how humans on planet Earth are gonna become powerful souls, planet, and stars after they have achieved their graduation status, and others who have experienced other things.
Yeah.
And they're seeing that. They know that there's an aspect of them that wants to continue in domination and control. Another aspect of them is having this perception: what would life and creation be if you decided to go and become and experience life as some of these mega beings that are here in the universe? Because what I'm also seeing is that there are other super huge universal beings that are just looking at at us. They are not involved in what is happening in the court. They are just observing and having a neutral perception of what's happening. So everybody is interested in what we are doing right now.
They are.
Yes, we're also interested in what they're doing right now as well, because, you know,
These beings, I haven't encountered them. It's like there are two factions. There are these super powerful universal beings, and on our planet we live in hierarchy where you want to describe things, but I'm having a difficulty expressing them. But if I would put it in words, I would say they are like below universal creator kind of level-ish. That's where they are, and they are observing what we are doing. And they are also aware of this galactic mafia that's hovering, creating chaos all over. And they know, and when you compare things to these universal beings are seeing these galactic mafia's children, and they are just observing to see what is the next step they are gonna do. So but back here on planet Earth, we are saying, hey, you know, for you it's observation, but we are receiving the heat. Maybe it's the highest time we have their control taken off, you know. You have had enough.
Yeah, I'm just going to pull a wild card here. That wild card is to those creators. So look what they're doing to your own personal assets that you've created. What happens to their individual spiritual accounts? What is that?
There's something that I'm getting for them is that they are saying they have put measures in place to make sure whatever is happening here comes to an end, because the potentiality of having the friction with them here is much higher, and it will achieve the end results that they want to see.
Good.
But it's tough for us, you know, as much as they want to see that end result, you know, we don't have to carry the weight of the entire system on our shoulders and feed it as because people have had enough, you know.
As I'm observing, I see it being removed and taken back, the pressure of every awakening of every soul, so that their experience can be beautiful. So there is an element there that is able to do that. That's wonderful. And I just would like you to just check those that are awakening in the spiritual court of equity, and that they have the space to breathe on earth in a very beautiful, truthful to themselves, to their own experiences of pure light, of infinity, in peace.
Beautiful. I'm also getting this perception, since these controllers are importing technology from the future to implement in the now, also those people who will be awakening will be given technology of the future. It's not necessarily the physical technologies that we do. It might be the spiritual technology. That's what is more aligned to in their dream time, and they are gonna be able to re-engineer it and counter what the system is doing now. So that is being handled in the account. Yeah.
Now that goes with the DNA activations, Harrison.
Yeah. That's that's what it is.
We will remember it, and the people will remember it, and they will remember who they are, what they bring.
Yeah.
There's no superimposition from any
Yeah.
other.
Yeah, so some of these beings have started to be involved because we have gone after them, asking why these things are happening, and they are showing me the more they bring technology of the future to lock down their domination and control, the more they lose their power, and the sooner the ascension timeline is coming to the people, because they are becoming aware of what they are doing more and more and more.
Yeah.
So it may look like the system are winning, but in reality, it's the opposite.
Exactly. It's this vacuous movement of what appears to be one thing going in one way, when actually it's got reverse vacuum dynamics and will go the other way.
Yeah.
Yes, and you what the court is also wanting to explain to the viewers is that a lot of these factions and the people in them, they become addicted to power. They become addicted to being greedy. They're different types of addictions. So they're looking at the addictive nature, if you will, of these beings, and it falls into particular categories, and what led them along the path to actually become so power hungry. And then it fizzles down to the different governments on the earth that are not doing what they've been elected to do, which is to serve the people. They're serving their masters, their puppet masters. They're serving other factions, if you will, of themselves in other countries. They're crime syndicates against mankind. So we've mentioned this before in other sittings, but the court is carrying on at looking at these factions, especially in the Far East. And as we know, we were talking about Angela early on, that giving the perpetrators the experience and to feel the emotions and the feelings and the mental pain and agony as well, that their temporal powers exerted over innocent people. So this is all being looked at extremely, extremely carefully.
Yeah, it's a very big process. It's but as we take the upper overview, instead of power.
Yeah, I'm also being reminded of what we talked earlier, of what we are gonna discuss too. I'm just gonna call it children loosh that they are getting from kids, and it's being pumped into this elite class of people so that they can maintain their appearances. But what I'm getting is that the more they think they are strong to carry out some of these agendas that they are having, the more control they are continuing to lose, and fragments appearing in their structure and cracks. And
I just want to say to you, I mean, you're spot on, Harrison. And an easy way to understand it for all the viewers is that the same way, for example, people will go to a mosque and pray, and they'll get down on the mat 5 times a day and pray to Allah, or someone will go to the church and also go into one of the little prayer sections in a big cathedral, for example, and they'll get down and do what they have to do. And, in a synagogue, they'll come with, on a Friday night, with a glass of wine and a bit of bread, and that's all very similar. But for these factions, these really dark factions with the children and the drinking of blood sacrifice. That is their way of honoring their God, Baal, the different names that they have for it. So it's their way of worshiping, but it needs to be brought to an end because it's bringing pain and suffering to others. It's not a nice way of worshiping. It's worshiping the dark.
Exactly. And perpetuating it. And the power and the need and the greed. And it's exemplified and infected all religions on some ritualistic level.
I mean, even this week, we've got that fashion house, what's it? I can't even pronounce it.
Balenciaga.
Yeah.
Balenciaga. Do both of you know what it means? It's a Latin word.
No,
Yeah.
I don't know what it means, but though
It
I
means
involved it.
Baal, it
Yeah.
means Baal is king.
Ooh.
And
That's
interesting, as soon as you repeat the name, I'm glad I didn't say it, but as soon as you repeat the name through your own physical construct, it kind of brings it into a real sense. So it's a level of just deconstructing their parameters. It's disgusting.
Yeah, it is.
And a
Actually, this,
violation of New Earth.
yeah,
And you have no permission. And I'm just dealing here, while you've been talking, I've been engaging with the future versions of Mother Earth, right the way through the next forward phase. And there is no room for it here. So I'm just requesting that energy be brought through from future Earth to heal these scenarios of just your children have gone wrong and action needs to be taken, as all mothers will know.
yeah. I'm being shown this aspect of money and the use of this monetary system. It's one of the reasons that has perpetuated some of these things, because people have been pushed to the brink where they cannot be able to support themselves in an ethical way that society would come into an agreement that's what is expected. And because of this money issue, that's why people are behaving in ways that's dehumanizing, kind of way that you cannot even attribute to an animal, because as you would see, animals treat their young ones much more better than other humans are treating other human beings. So what I'm getting is that this monetary thing is coming into a view. And as they are talking of the Great Reset, there's a restructuring that's happening. It may take some time for it to be implemented, and it may not come in the way we might think in ourselves or the way the system wants it to be, but something is on the horizon coming, and it's huge. And there are some currencies that are gonna stop operating the way they're operating, and it's gonna give freedom to many people.
That's wonderful news.
Yes,
That
it is.
is
I can't wait.
Much needed for all beings who do not wish to barcode into a digital system.
Yeah, I'm getting this feeling it's societies are gonna be created by like-minded people, and those people are they are gonna choose what they wanna exchange energy for, because they are gonna have a form of trade within themselves. But the way the money is structured right now, the system wants to keep the debt to continue being perpetuated, but there's something else that's coming to replace that. So there's that struggle where the system wants to put their reset, but not actually, it's not a reset that it's gonna benefit the rest of humanity, but a few elites. But there's another
Well,
system that's there that's gonna benefit the rest of the people.
Can you
That's
just
fantastic.
initiate can you just initiate it?
Yes, well, what we're going to do
Harrison.
is, Harrison, I'm going to step
Yeah.
in here. So what we've got the power to do this. So what we're going to do is intense everything. So what basically, like I'm holding out my hand and I'm going to blow. I'm blowing love and peace towards the probability of them trying to create this great reset and this digital ID and everything. And as I blow, it's going to blow it all away. It's going to fold upon itself. It will not ever be the success they want it to be. And peace, love, and joy come in the place of those programs that are dark, unjust, and inhumane.
That's just beautiful, Derek. You're talking my kind
Beautiful.
of talk.
Yeah. Mother Earth is here and she's quite happy with this because she has the energy of now of supporting the system that's gonna be equal to bring equality to every single person. Not even equality, I'd wanna use equity to each and every single person so that we don't have this cannibalistic system where money is being used to dominate people and making them live a slavery or life that they not want to live.
That's just beautiful. It's exactly that. So that is expanding now currently through the feet of every soul incarnated, living and dead. The machinery that they use is also being dismantled.
Yes, also through their technical halves on, below, and off Earth.
And it's a very beautiful experience that is being revealed. So to all souls awakening, may you awaken in beauty, truth, goodness, and lightness. And your own divinity, may you all realize your infinite highest potential for all. It's beautiful, that's all.
And all the people that have invested and the corporations that have invested in what they're trying to perpetrate through digital IDs, barcodes, etc. As I blow, that all falls away and the investments turn to zilch. All falls away. See it gone, gone. The court also has the power to stop what is about to take place before it actually comes into 100% reality. Now, people, I don't know if they really understand the court of equity. Not that it wants to or needs power, but change needs to take place. There is ascension happening, and it's going to look after the beautiful people, the kind, loving people of the earth, and stand up for them against these dark tyrants and factions on and off earth.
Agreed.
Yeah.
That's why we are Concordia Consularis, the spiritual business agency of peace. It's just wonderful, really wonderful. So pleased. So what's the status at the moment in the court, Derek?
Well, they're going to, listen, we're heading towards the end of this current year, and they're working hard to actually bring this process into 100% activation. They've already done it on a certain level, but on another level, it's going to take a bit of time for them to actually close down all these factions and all these programs and all these intended programs to take place in the future. So they are working on it. It's it's bringing everything into what we'd call the nexus point, which is beyond time and space and
Exactly.
and all.
Now, the reason why I'm getting so excited in the background, can't stop moving around, is because I'm going to let everybody into a secret. Or some may know, some might not. The masses do not know. It's already been done. And then we're just working through it. And why am I laughing? Because if I didn't, I'd be crying my eyes out. But it has already been done. And now, when we realize the individual choices of how we navigate through infinite, with our infinite nature, these little tiny blocks, we've got to see them from the bigger perspective. Little tiny blocks that we just need to work through, move around, destroy, remove, until we get to that free-flowing experience that is available for all, unhindered by any system. And that's it. It's been done.
Fantastic. I love it.
Yeah, I had to remind myself of that sometimes. But yeah, look, it is. And when you go past, when we infinitely move past and through this affected system, you look back over your shoulder and it's a speck of nada.
I agree with you. It's just tough when you're living through it.
Yeah, pretty much. So this court today has been really amazing, and it's really demonstrated so much here, and the more potentials that are there to work through. It is a school of hard knocks, this planet, very beautiful, but very difficult at times. And, it takes a lot for the human soul to move through this. So I pray for you all, pray for everybody, pray for Earth, pray for the source of all sources, pray for each individual source stream, frequency connection, that you make this great voyage a beautiful one, a truthful one, and an infinitely loving one. That's it.
Thank you very much for today. Thank you, guys.
Great.
Yeah, that's wonderful. Yeah.
It's not all doom and gloom out there, people. It really isn't. There is great beauty to behold within your eyes of experience. And sometimes when seeing that scenarios are hitting you and you're navigating your way through the enormity of it, it doesn't seem like there's any light there, but there always is. You'll find it in nature. You'll find it in people around you when you look and you resonate that within yourself. So keep healing, keep loving, keep enjoying, and keep being truthful to the real core experience of you. Always paying attention to the voice inside of your heart, because that's your navigation tool for these times. Any final words, guys?
No, you've said it very well, and the court's adjourning for the session.
Yeah. I think you have already said what needs to be said, and it's a wonderful session, and it's a wonderful resolution that you have gotten from the court.
Yeah, I love a good result. I've got goosebumps all over. So, do join us next time for our, what are we now in fraud date? It's the 8th, isn't it? Something like that.
It's this
The 6th today.
The 5th. 6th.
Yeah.
Okay, so the solstice is on the 21st. We will have one more spiritual court of equity before a solstice extravaganza. And we shall see what materializes in the oncoming week and bring that to you. But there'll be a particular planetary activation going on the 21st. I will say that. And it will lead us into a different, system-free, separate, independent way of being. So thank you very much. Do comment again, leave a like if you'd like a session with me, Angela. You can find me at Concordia Consularis on the ever-decaying Facebook. And you can find ways to contact with me online. It's not that hard. So, Instagram also, you find me floating around on that platform, but we are migrating to other areas because this place is a bit mainstream and obviously there are many reasons for that. We will be having a limited ghost presence, but on other platforms, but you'll hear all about that for next year. So thanks very much to all you beautiful souls out there. With love from my heart to yours, my soul to yours. May you all live a life of peace.